Yes, sir. Welcome to Deadball TV. Today's episode is Tough Questions CONMEBOL edition. Y'all, we're going to be doing multiple editions in this series throughout the rest of qualifying. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss part 2, 3, and 4. And also, of course, we're going to be doing our predictions and reaction to every single CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying window until the goddamn 2026 World Cup. So hit subscribe for that. Drop a like on the video. And as we go through each of these questions, put your answer, please, down below in the comments so we can clown you for zero ball knowledge. Now, Connor, I'm going to go to you first. However you want to broach this, what you got for us? First question regarding CONMEBOL.
First question. I want to know, how many players do you think outscore Vinicius in this qualifying cycle? And you can give me a list. I was thinking top 5, but frankly, the list could go on.
Dang. I mean, first off, he'd being outscored right now by
Literally anybody that has one goal.
his own teammates.
Yep.
An even better question to really offend everybody is how many Bolivians outscore Vinicius during World Cup qualifying?
Away from home.
Oh my gosh, how many players outscore Vinicius?
We could also frame it like
how
this.
many players?
We could also say which one of the Brazilian forwards scores the most or has the most goal contributions.
Which Brazilian forward has the most goal contributions?
Because the other list might be like 15 players long.
I mean, right now, the list is 49 players long. 49 current players in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying have more goals than Vinicius.
Well, because he has none, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he's got
so
one
every
assist.
player who scored is above Vinicius.
You're correct. I don't think that will last. I have more faith in him than that. Also, full disclosure, I just don't feel Brazil is set up for them or for him.
You asked how many Brazilian forwards. You said how many Brazilian forwards have more goal involvements than Vinicius?
Which one of the Brazilian forwards ends up with the most goal involvements by the end of qualifying?
I do think it will be Rodrigo.
You think it'll be Rodrigo?
I think it'll be Rodrigo. I don't think a Brazilian hits more than 7 GA aggregate during qualifying.
During specifically qualifying.
Correct. I think we may maybe get 2 to 4 players who are sitting on like 4 to 5 GAs each for Brazil, but no monster numbers. I don't see that because who the hell is it going to be? They're going to bring Matheus Cunha back?
Dude, I'm kind of wondering what it looks like. You asked this last show and or the last time we were talking about Brazil, and it's kind of been nagging at me. I want to know what happens if Richarlison comes back in. I genuinely want to know now.
It's about that time.
It's about that time.
I mean, unless we start Endrick next game, I don't know. Endrick might be, dude, he might have Rodrigo if he plays. Hipster pick, again, if he gets the minutes, which will be tough because Brazil seems to
Rafinha?
have like 30 iterations. I was going to say Savinho.
Okay, Savinho. That is a hipster pick. I don't know. It feels a little too hipster.
It's a little too all-time low for you.
Popular. It's like, okay, he's playing well now, so I just don't trust it yet, I'm suspect of that pick.
Well, that's why my actual pick is not him. It's Rodrigo.
Okay, yeah.
Y'all let us know. I guess, which forward do you think for Brazil? You want to throw a nominee out before I go to my question?
I really think it might be Vinicius. I was talking smack. It'll probably be him, but I would say he's probably like 15th most goal contributions by the end of qualifying. It's going to be a hefty list above him, 15 to 20.
I mean, Vinicius is going to have a hell of a comeback if he's going to lead Brazil. Speaking of Brazil, my first question: which national team has more points at the end of the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying cycle? Ecuador or Brazil? Oh, that part froze.
Ecuador or Brazil? I think 90% of this question hinges on who Brazil's next manager is. I do not think Junior is long for this world, but we could save that because I feel that question coming. If Junior stays on, it's Ecuador. It's Ecuador. And I think it might still be Ecuador. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going full hater. I'm going Ecuador. Here we go.
I cannot disagree.
Really?
I cannot disagree.
Okay, here we go.
I mean, think about it. So right now, time of recording, Ecuador have 11. Brazil have 10. So Ecuador's already on top. And Ecuador had the -3 points. So really, they're on 14. And Brazil's just bad, dude. They just suck.
Brazil, yeah, they're having a rough time of it.
They're having a rough time of it.
God, dude, I can just hear the comments right now just screaming. They're about to burst, and it's just going to be Americans.
I mean, maybe,
People
dude. I'm
love to
looking
say
at
that.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Ecuador's schedule is not awful going forward. They have some tough games, but like they got Colombia away, but it's not awful. And I just think how good the defense is. The fact they don't concede goals, the fact that the schedule's not impossible, and the fact that everybody just gets up for Brazil, I think ends up in Ecuador finishing with, I think it'll be like 2 points more or like 1 point more. It's going to be close.
It'll be marginal.
It'll be marginal. Unless Becasese just craps the bed, but I don't think he will. So I'm going Ecuador, and you're going Ecuador too. you guys let us know in the comments. I should have asked that as a poll before this episode. Damn it. Oh, that would have been fascinating to see.
Throw it up after this.
I'm going to throw it up after this. Let's see what the audience thinks.
Throw it up. All right, it's my turn.
All right, your turn.
All right, I'm going to go with another pick a team points-based question, just because I feel like y'all are getting bored and I want to drive the hammer down even more. I want to know who finishes with more points. Or you know what? Better way to phrase this. Who do you think has a better chance of qualifying, Chile or Peru? Because Peru, I believe, is very bottom of the table right now. And Chile is one spot above them.
Peru are in 10th place with 3 points from 8 games. Chile have 5 points from 8 games, and they are in 9th. Who finishes with more points, you're asking me?
Who has a better chance of qualifying? I feel like that's a better question.
Oh, this is a really difficult question because the answer is neither. Like
The
neither
answer is
team is
neither.
going. Neither
Oh, yeah.
team's going to the World Cup.
What if I throw you their next 5 matches?
Okay, throw them in the next 5.
Okay, so Chile. Okay, this is awesome. Chile has Brazil next, then Colombia, Brazil at home, then Colombia away, then Peru away, and Venezuela at home, and then Paraguay away. I might have to say Peru now, just after looking at that schedule. Good Lord.
That is genuinely 4 L's.
Oh, dog, hold on. Peru does not have it any. They might have it worse. I was like, there's no
How is
way.
that possible? What, they have Colombia away twice? I mean, how could it be worse?
Peru plays Uruguay at home, Brazil away, Chile at home, Argentina away, and then, Bolivia at home. That's still
Oh, that's way better.
Are
That's
you serious?
way better.
They're
though.
playing
Dude,
Uruguay, Brazil,
Yeah, Uruguay without 5 of their best players.
and Argentina? I don't know.
And it's at home. Dude, Uruguay they're borderline finished right now, dude.
You
team
got to
is
give them a
down
chance.
bad right
They got to get their
Give them a
feet set.
chance. Give them a chance. They couldn't score against Paraguay at home.
Because Paraguay's been on fire. We were talking
And
about that
Colombia
the last
couldn't
episode.
beat Peru in Lima. You think Uruguay without Nunez and all those other guys are going to win?
I don't know. Maybe. We're going to have to
No
see.
way.
We're going to find out.
No way. First off, Colombia stomps Uruguay right now, and they couldn't do it. Chile got the harder schedule, I think, and at least in the next 5. That's 4 L's. Peru, under Vosati especially, they could terrorize their way to 2 draws, a win, 2 losses.
I don't know. I think I'm selling on that Uruguay game still, but I think the audience has to let us know.
They definitely
You guys
do.
tell us.
They definitely do. I think the only way, I guess I'm answering my own question. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might be saying Peru has a better chance than Chile because I think unless Gareca, he has to win one of the next 2 games or he's gone. And if he doesn't win the next 2 games and they don't sack him because he'd probably be too expensive to sack, I think the vibes in the locker room are so low that the players have given up. I don't think they're playing for him right now.
I don't know. I think it's that's tough. We've had one window. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one a lot more. That one requires some meditation. I'm gonna have to sit on a Japanese hillside outside of a hot spring and write some haikus and meditate on that.
I hear what you're saying, but that was the worst, maybe the worst qualifying window in Chilean history.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you lost to Bolivia. You gave Bolivia their first away win in 3 decades.
they were also going toe to toe with the Europeans before the Copa America, but then the Copa America happened. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to meditate on that one personally.
We've
I have
spoken
no
about
comment for
here
you.
in the Copa.
Yeah.
I think the Copa just killed Gareca, but you guys will have to let us know in the comments. All right, which national team has the best offensive record at the end of World Cup qualifying? Fewest goals conceded. Who are you going with? I
Do
can
you
give you the
have
current leaders
stats?
if you'd like.
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I was about to say.
Okay. Currently, here are the nominees who I consider the nominees for this potential award. Argentina, 4 goals conceded. Colombia, 5 goals conceded. Ecuador, 4 goals conceded. Paraguay, 3 goals conceded.
Paraguay only has 3 goals conceded.
They are leading CONMEBOL right now. Put some respect on them.
No, not yet.
Back-to-back clean sheets against Brazil and Uruguay. You're not going to put respect on them.
Nah, Uruguay's trash now, right? Isn't that what you said?
Well, not according to your theory.
Yeah, you're right.
So are we talking Jack's theory or are we talking your theory?
I'm both biting back at your theory to prove my theory correct, but also saying that the metric doesn't, that's not a solid metric. One game against Uruguay and an abjectly miserable Brazil doesn't prove
But
the
they
rule.
beat Brazil.
I gotta see more. That was huge.
It was historic.
My man, I think I'm gonna keep going with the steady shift. I'm gonna say Argentina. I'm gonna see Argentina. Messi's coming back. He's gonna be in there.
Oh, that'll help
guys
you guys
just play better.
defensively. Yeah, he tracks back a lot.
No, but he does help whenever we play with him. Yeah, players
Yeah,
play better
he'll
with
help
him.
defensively for sure.
I'm not saying he's going to help defensively. I'm saying that we're a better team with him on the ball. Can you listen? Can you open your
I can't
ears?
wait
You
for
gotta-
Messi to make
You
a
got to clean
crunching
out
slide
those
tackle.
damn AirPods you got in there. Them things nasty. Them yellow. I can see him from here. Nightmare. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Argentina. I think that Colombia is a tough shout. Yeah, I know everybody's shocked, right? Here's my theory on this. I think that Argentina is the most stable, and if we don't let our ego get too high, then we're not going to let in a lot of goals. I think we just have to stay the course, and I think that Colombia, being that they are, have just risen to prominence this last year or so. Look, listen, they've risen to the caliber that they're at the last year or so. They were good before that, but not to this extent. I think that they are still going to have some hills and valleys. I think that Argentina is kind of set up until the next World Cup. I don't think we'll see a lot of change. I mean, the biggest switches is going to be, okay, Garnacho, maybe Dybala, and how often do we rotate out Otamendi and Lisandro? Those are the two biggest questions that we have to answer. Everything else is kind of set in stone.
Maybe Acuna loses his spot just because he's gone back to River. I don't know. But even
Potentially.
then, you got Tagliafico, so who cares?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Here's how the audience responded to this question. And this was posted on the Deadball TV community tab. So if you want to participate next time, hit subscribe, mofo. Okay, so the audience, our audience with 4,000 ball knowledge, 46% in first place was Colombia. 34% in second place, the Albiceleste, Argentina. In third place, with 14% of the votes, Ecuador. And in dead smacking last, 6% of votes, Paraguay. What is your knee-jerk reaction to nearly 50% of our audience saying Colombia?
I'm saying that they're still riding the Copa America good guys wagon, Nobody hates Spain. Nobody hates Colombia. They're feel-good stories. You want them to do well. I want them to do well. I like both of those teams. Nobody likes Argentina. Colombia is getting a bunch of guys who are we just keep winning. God, we're like Kansas City.
With the help of the refs. Actually, that's a great comparison.
I knew you were going to say that.
Corruption at its finest.
Not in CONMEBOL qualifying. I don't know what you want me to say about that. Is that taking us? Are the Pens taking us through tournament style there?
Yes.
No, we've conceded a lot of goals, like you just said. So,
well, not a lot. I mean, you've conceded 4. You actually have quite a strong record.
It's a lot for us.
For you guys, it is. I'm actually shocked that
we have the best defense going into the Copa America, remember?
You do, the best defense going into the Copa America. Where did we put Paraguay in that video? I feel like we had them. Surely they were top 10. I just don't remember where. Probably 5th or 6th or something.
I think I had them ranked pretty low, which throughout the Copa America was not awful. It's after that they've sort of been finding their stride.
Well, they had what was their manager's name? Garnero, I think. And he basically tried to go against Paraguayan DNA, and it just bit the team in the ass. But now they have Alfaro, and he's very defensive.
Play to your strengths.
Play to your strengths. I'm going to say Paraguay finished CONMEBOL with the fewest goals conceded. I think they keep this record in first place. I'm bullish on this, dude.
Okay. You can be.
I think worst case, they finish third. I think only Argentina and Ecuador can do better than them. Colombia, phenomenal team.
Yeah.
But not top 10 in the world right now. They don't really keep clean sheets like that, though. They just kind of
their game.
That's not their game. They just run it up.
That's why everybody liked them. Everybody's rating them highly because they're like, oh, they win. Winning doesn't necessarily mean you don't concede goals. It's like you don't pick Manchester City's center backs because they're not going to get you a bunch of points. They concede 1 goal, lose out on the clean sheet, but then the offense scores 4. So it doesn't matter. Which I like. That makes for interesting games. Go watch a Spurs game. Some of the most exciting games in the Prem. Don't really keep clean sheets.
So I think people are conflating winning and defense there. Colombia don't really win primarily because of their defense. It's because the midfield and the attack is just firing, and on set pieces, they're unstoppable. So let's touch base. Maybe not part 2, again, hit subscribe, but maybe part 3. We just revisit this after like match day 10. We got 4 more games under our belt. We reevaluate and we're like, damn, Ecuador conceded 5 against Bolivia at home. Like, what happened? Becasese has been sacked. Just who knows what's gonna. This is CONMEBOL. We have no idea. Why don't you take us to the next one here?
Okay, this is sort of a choose your own adventure here. You want to put the beat down? You want to put your hater hat on for Uruguay or Brazil? Who do you want? Who do you want to go with?
Let's do Uruguay. We already clowned Vinicius. Let's do Uruguay now.
We did.
Let's be fair.
Uruguay, I want to know when you think the decline of Uruguay begins. When does everyone start calling for Bielsa's job in earnest? When do you think it's going to happen? Because do they have 4 games or 6 games without their merry band of bandits that charged the stands?
I think Araujo, Josema, and Oliveira are back now. Bentancur has 2 more, I think. Darwin has 3 more. Was it 6 games? No, you might be right. I think he got 6-game suspension. Yeah, 5 or 6, doesn't matter.
Either way, what
when
game do you
people-
think it happens? How did I phrase this? Golly, I should have had these written down.
Yeah, try that again for the shorts. Goddamn. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Run that back. God damn.
All right. Yeah, man. It was much more eloquent when I texted it to myself. When does the decline of Uruguay begin? At what game? And I'll read you off their next ones. You ready?
Okay, please do.
They have Peru away, Ecuador at home, Colombia at home, Brazil away, and Argentina at home. And I want to know, when does it begin in earnest? When are you comfortable saying that they are in the red zone?
My man, what if I told you the red zone has already happened?
We're already in the red zone.
I think we're in the red zone. I think
We've
we're on
been in the red
18-yard
zone
line.
the whole time. God, it's like Inception.
I'm gonna pull some Inception on you. I think I think I said this in the last episode. The Uruguayans are already turning. You know, they're the first to turn, right? So it's kind of like, at what point do the plastics also turn? I'm going to say it could happen as soon as Peru away, because if they can't beat Peru away, let's say it's a 0-0, 3 0-0 draws in a row for Uruguay,
After a bronze
Against-
in the Copa America.
where you got outplayed by Canada significantly. You couldn't beat 10 men Colombia, and you did F all against Brazil in the quarters.
Maybe that conversation needs to be happening. Or it already is happening behind closed doors.
I told you they're calling him Mause Bielsa in Montevideo. I mean, it's already happened.
Nobody in Montevideo knows who Mao Zedong is. Not a single person. They're too busy
Well,
with their
you should
beautiful
know your
economy
Asian
and the
history,
tourism.
so shame on all of you.
Shame on all of you. That's offensive. And we all know that South Americans, historically, very well educated on, foreign policy, foreign history, international
affairs.
history, foreign affairs. There it is.
Foreign affairs. Yes, I'm sure that if you interviewed Fede, that he knows everything about the Tokugawa shogunate that transpired hundreds of
Tokugawa.
years ago.
Tokugawa.
Anyways, yeah, man, I think Uruguay are already in big trouble. They need to start playing well, dude. It's not even that they tied Paraguay at home. It's that they look like ass. It's not that they got a 0-0 draw in Maturin against Venezuela. It's that they played like ass. It's not that they got third at the Copa America. It's that they played like ass in that game. So it's like, bruh, just play well. Like, you have the talent, you have the manager, at least I thought you did, to play beautiful football. And we genuinely haven't seen that since Bolivia, 5-0 at the Copa America? I think they beat them 5-0. That was the last time we saw Bielsa ball. They look like a shadow of themselves. I really think they're in trouble here.
I think it happens at the end of this window. I think they are already in trouble, but I don't think anybody's having any meaningful conversations, at least not anybody who matters, except for us, obviously.
We matter a lot.
Well, yeah, we matter a lot. We are the deciding voice. We speak for the South American continent.
It's only a matter of time before we're giving speeches at the CONMEBOL conferences. I'm about to become best friends with Dominguez, the president. I mean, I said, I'm going to be like, hey, check out the podcast. I said Paraguay best defensive record. All right, so you're welcome.
I mean, I put Milei on last weekend. He was in New York about a week and a half ago.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him. He was like, when
I
you
bought
get a
his
good
book.
slice around here? And I was like, no slice. I can't help you with the slice. You find a slice. Go to one of the popular ones. Don't worry about it. Or Rocky's Pizza down on, 32nd? You go to Rocky's Pizza down. It's decent, but what I really want to know is I want to know what's going on with Uruguay. I was like, nah, well, you know what? I can't really say what he said. But the point is, I think it happens after this window.
To counter everything we've said for the last 6 minutes, if they beat Argentina at home, I feel like Bielsa buys himself another 4 games, 3 games, criticism free. He does the double on Argentina. We're talking about Uruguay kind of on the decline. Well, what's the bounce back point? I think it would either be beating Brazil or Argentina again. You do the double on either of those teams, shit, dude. They will forget.
I think they start having the conversations after this window because you have Peru and Ecuador. I love Ecuador. We know they're good. The South Americans still count them as at least the big boys. Granted, they are part of that, but the South Americans, you know how much they love to look at each other with, I don't even know. What would you say? Punitively?
Oh, how do South Americans see each other? Oof. I mean,
in terms
it
of race.
gets ugly.
However,
It gets ugly real quick.
it gets ugly very quickly. The point is, people aren't going to rate Ecuador as much as they would against Brazil, even though in certain situations I would say that Ecuador is a harder game right now. So what I'm getting at is if they lose or tie against Peru and Ecuador, if they drop points against either of those teams, but win against Colombia, that buys them time. If they win against Brazil, buys them time. Argentina buys them probably the most time out of all of those, right? If you can make it to Bolivia, Paraguay, and turn the ship around there, I think it's feasible. However, you've got a strong run of 5 games, and I think the conversations start happening after October 15th, is what it looks like to me.
So you're saying if they beat Ecuador, it's kind of like, who cares?
If you want clout, you want life points, you want to regain some hit points here, you got to win against Peru and Ecuador. Or 4 points, win and a draw.
My only counter to that is that I don't think Uruguayans would be content with 4. They would say you should be beating both of those sides. Because let's also be honest, nobody thinks Ecuador's a big team in CONMEBOL. I mean, we might respect them. In South America, they don't even think Colombia's a big team. They just made the Copa America final. They still consider them like easily second rate. Like, oh, Colombia, yeah, they play pretty ball, but whenever it matters, they suck. That's their reputation. I think Ecuador's like, y'all are oftentimes worse than Venezuela. So it's going to take more than like one cute qualifying window before the South American opinion turns to like, oh, beating Ecuador. You know, no one's saying ojo con Ecuador. Nobody says that. I'm going to say Bielsa beats Ecuador and Peru. No one gives a shit because he's expected to do that. But to your point, if he beats Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, life points. Health potion, bubble shield, over shield.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Bubble shield. Peru and Ecuador, that's like taking down a jackal. Like, nobody really cares. But you take down Brazil, you take down Brute Chieftain, yeah.
You get that gravity hammer in your hand, you could turn things around.
You can turn things around with that. You can do a lot with that. Do a lot of damage with that. Without Nunez, oh yeah.
Suddenly making it to the end of this heroic run is not looking too difficult.
No, it's looking a lot more feasible. Speaking about Darwin Nunez, though, my last question. Can Darwin Nunez, or somebody else, break the goal-scoring record in this World Cup qualifying cycle in CONMEBOL? So Darwin Nunez currently has 5 goals in his 6 games played. He's going to miss 5 games total, so it was a 5-game suspension, not 6. So he's got 3 more games he's going to miss for Uruguay. Those games would have been Peru away, Ecuador home, Colombia home. So he has 7 games remaining to score 7 goals to equal Ivan Zamorano for 12 goals in one World Cup qualifying cycle, which happened in 1998, and he's Chilean. So I didn't know that Chile had the all-time top goal scorer from a single cycle, but that was kind of a pretty sick fun fact. What do you think? You think Nunez can get 7 from 7? Can I read you the fixtures?
Yeah, read me the fixtures.
He'll be back in the Uruguay squad for these games. Brazil away, Argentina home, Bolivia away, Paraguay away, Venezuela home, Peru home, Chile away. He gets 7 goals there?
No. He's lucky if he gets 3.
I think he gets 4 and finishes with 9.
I just don't, he's not in a good place right now, mentally. And I think that's kind of how he plays. That's what he requires. He needs to be in a good place. He needs to feel supported. And granted, he's going to feel better once he gets back into Uruguay, but that doesn't happen for another 3 games. I don't buy it. And you just gave me that run of fixtures, Paraguay and Bolivia away. And then, some of the big boys. I don't know. I don't buy that. Not
Brazil away too.
Brazil away. Come on. Yeah, I'm not having that.
He needs a hat trick at home against Peru to have a chance.
To have a freaking prayer. Now, there is a world where he comes back and he's pissed and he scores 2 against Brazil and then we're back in the conversation. I'm just saying 2 against Brazil because you're pissed and then 3 against, who did you say? Hat trick against
Peru or Chile?
Maybe. It's a conversation.
It's a conversation. Okay, so in their final window, they have Peru at home, Chile away. He's got to be sitting on 9 goals with those 2 remaining, and he can get 3 in that last window. But that means he got to ball. He got to get a brace, Paraguay away, and Godspeed. Like, ain't many players doing that.
No, ain't many players doing it. And not the way he finishes.
Although I think, to play devil's advocate, his Liverpool form has never mattered for Uruguay.
No, it hasn't.
So maybe, do you think we could see like a Pulisic scenario? Like when he was with Chelsea and like wasn't really getting minutes, but every time he came to the US, he still balled out?
Potentially. I could see that. I think his Liverpool form will get better when he starts back with Uruguay. He just needs to be with Bielsa. He misses Big Daddy Bielsa is who he misses.
Fun fact before we get to your last question. The Uruguayan with the most goals scored in a single cycle was Luis Suarez. In 2014, he had 11 goals. So even hitting that is going to be really tough. I will say if he hits it, holy shit. Like, We have to put more respect. If he equals Suarez's record, breaks Cavani's record, breaks Forlan's record, and my man missed 5 games, like that would be crazy.
I mean, that would be hands down the best qualifying window of any player.
100%. 100%. And he might have an assist in there too.
We're saying that,
know,
and I bet Messi has one where he scored like 8 goals and had 7 assists or something just unreasonable.
I think 2018 Messi got 10. Last cycle, I think he had 8. No, he had 8 last cycle.
8 assists.
Only
or 8
one
goals?
player, 8 goals. Assists are hard to find. The top goal scorer last cycle, dude, was Moreno from Bolivia. He had 10.
That's wild.
So kudos to the man. That's like, you got to be good being Bolivian and you're the top goal scorer. Like,
And ripping that, yeah.
Why don't you bring us in here to the finish line? Last question.
All right, finish line. Last question right here. I want to know who replaces Junior, and when do you think that happens?
Oh my God. Who replaces him?
And when do you think it
Dude,
happens?
I don't know. I don't know if you saw this, but I'm pretty sure I read last night that Tite is out at whatever Brazilian club he was at. I don't know if he got sacked. I don't know if he walked away.
He's out. That's all that matters.
If I read it correctly, sometimes my Spanish is rusty. I'm pretty sure he's out. I don't think it said contract extension. I think it said out. A reunion there would be insane. It's got to be a Brazilian though. Let's answer the first part. Who replaces him? Surely they can't go foreigner. Like, you can't appoint a Chilean.
No. I'll tell you something right now. They're not going to bring in another South American.
So you think they go
European
Portuguese
or Brazilian? They could go Portuguese. Frankly, I thought Mourinho would be there eventually, but
yeah, I mean, Ancelotti was the talk for a while, but I think it's not happening.
yeah, no. After he re-signed with Madrid, and that could happen later on. Ancelotti's not retiring at anytime soon.
You want to know the wildest goddamn signing ever?
Klopp?
Close. Aliou Cisse from Senegal just stepped down as manager. He won the AFCON. Can you imagine?
Dude, honestly, that might work.
Oh, let me tell you, if Cisse went to Brazil, I'd be shitting my pants again. I'd be like, God damn it, they're back. Literally,
back.
I'm not kidding. Like, oh, we're in trouble. Like, dude, he'd have those boys firing again. That would be a monster appointment. But I don't know, because I don't watch the Brazilian league, so I don't know who are like the next up, the hot coaches coming up. Do you have a name? Do you have an international manager who's is a free agent?
I was thinking Tite, and genuinely, I wanted to pick your brain. I really don't have an answer for this.
I'm not Brazilian, but I feel like they would be furious if he came back.
I don't know. I think it'd be another placeholder until they found somebody real. Because the fact that we haven't heard any big links so far makes me think that they're having trouble.
It's a tough job right now. You're firmly like the 4th best team in CONMEBOL right now, borderline 5th, and you're Brazil. So the expectation is still there. You don't have time to drop more points. Like, you got to win as soon as you come in. They would never. No, they would never. And I don't think he would take it.
Spaniard in?
I don't think they would care that much about the Spanish.
I don't think they would either.
They'd care way more if he was Argentine.
Oh, that would never happen.
Correct. Damn, that's a tough one. I don't know.
Scaloni could go undefeated for 20 years. And at the end of that 20 years, if he was like, it's my dream to manage Brazil, and all Brazilian managers in the world suddenly collapsed from a heart attack, they would still.
They're written in the death note?
They're written in the death note, yeah.
And he said, and I'll do the job for free.
And I'll do it for free.
Yeah, they'd still say no.
And I'm secretly half Brazilian. They'd be like, hell no.
Like, get out of my face, swine. That's a tough one. Yeah, you guys in the comments, let us know if you think there is a guy who's also somewhat realistic who could be appointed when Junior is inevitably sacked.
Yeah, I just wanted a pulse check here.
Yeah, it's coming. It's really on the way. Like, the cannons are loaded. Just got to light the fuse. But guys, we're going to go ahead and end this episode there. We hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Tough Questions CONMEBOL edition. Like we said at the beginning, we're going to be making this a series. We're going to be dropping this periodically until the 2026 World Cup. If you guys have any suggestions for questions you would like us to answer, you can drop them in the comments, or you can follow us on Instagram. The link will be in the description of this video, so that when I post community things like, hey, Dead Ball fans, what do you want to see us discuss on the next episode? You can drop your thoughts in there, and Connor and I will chef it up on y'all's user submitted questions. If you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure you drop it a like. Again, hit subscribe so you don't miss future CONMEBOL content here on Dead Ball TV. We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next one.